what's going to happen to the Tribunal tomorrow night. Rhyan Mansell currently has a 3-match suspension. This was the sleeper issue that revealed itself through the match sim into the pre-season matches and in the early rounds. The AFL put a memo to clubs as the season dawned, cautioning against this specific moment, the push that might soon result in a suspension.
But I didn't see the incident and I haven't seen it.
I know you're not going to believe this, but I didn't see it.
I don't have my glasses on, so I didn't see it.
You're still a coach.
We had Samuel Oliver break his jaw well, if it is a similar incident, it's pretty hard to change the rule during the season. So, as I said, if it's deemed inappropriate, we'll deal with it.
There was a note issued, I understand, by the football department of the AFL, just to clubs, just to say, look, you know, this is something that we're watching, but there would need to be the player doing the pushing, because the push itself is not a reportable offence, would need to foresee the events that were going to unfold for there to be a charge in that regard.
Should he be suspended for 3 weeks?
100% he should. This is such a dangerous action. We've talked about this for 6 weeks. They've sent the memo out. Players are aware.
Could Rhyan Mansell, or should Rhyan Mansell have been able to foresee that if he shoved Liam O'Connell in such a manner that O'Connell was going to be involved in a nasty collision?
That he would be involved in a collision. As to whether it's nasty, then you're putting your fate in the lap of the gods. So,
gut feel when this happened?
Oh no, well, gut feel is it shouldn't happen, and it shouldn't go unpunished. That was my gut feel. Now I know the matrix, you know how it works. 3 or zip it's about a 1 to 2 weeker for mine, and it won't go that way because of the matrix. But sometimes we tie ourselves in knots around this. The simple question is, he hasn't got eyes on the ball at all, Rhyan Mansell. So he's not playing the ball here. He knows where the traffic is because he's got his back to the ball and facing the traffic, and he shoved him into the traffic. Now, I've heard some staggering defences of this today, and I'm not saying I'm right, but every time I look at it, what do you think's going to happen? You are putting yourself at the mercy of a system that sometimes confuses everyone. I can see that, but do we want that in our game? Do we want blokes turning their back on the footy and giving a hard shove into oncoming traffic? No. I'll argue that forever and a day.
So that's not forward craft?
No, that was one of the suggestions. Nick Watson did this beautiful move on Harry Himmelberg in that game down there in Tassie where he's outsized it and he just bodied him under the footy and marked the footy, and that was a suggestion to say, see, you can do that. The difference was Nick Watson's watching the damn ball. He's playing the ball. So he's in the contest. He's not turning his back on the footy and going, well, and maybe it has been a thing in the past where you want to lose your man in traffic. Well, it shouldn't be. I know I get a bit passionate about this.
Yeah.
It's just, my take on that is, that's not footy. Turning your back on the footy and then just shoving your bloke into 2 monsters coming my way. Someone even suggested that Tom Lynch should have been more careful. This is the madness that consumes us around here. Tom Lynch is trying to mark the footy. If we put it up again, let's just put that one to bed as well. Yeah. Tom Lynch is trying to mark the football. So don't discount Tom. This is why we lose our mind. He's turned his back, he's pushed him into traffic, and from that point on, Rhyan Mansell goes, geez, I hope he only gets bumped in the shoulder here. Because we know the shoulder, if he gets a cork shoulder, then we know that that's different.
So the game would not be diminished in any way if Mansell's not able to do that anymore.
No, and I think the passion in this is the 3 weeks. Now, you know this, and I've never really bothered myself with it because it gets too hard. If that's a week or 2 weeks, I don't think there'll be as passionate outcry.
People would just absorb it.
And granted, I absolutely accept that Richmond fans will feel aggrieved because their young kid gets his cheek broken.
Our belief was that the Jimby should have been the test case.
100%. I would have suspended Jimby for a week in that instance, for sure. Now, I don't know whether or not you can get to a week, but he should have been. So I accept that from a Richmond fan point of view. But I'll be interested to listen to the coaches, because we had 2 coaches in here on the night or not long after a memo had been sent out, and they weren't aware of it.
No.
I'm wondering if these 2 are.
All right. And what does it do to coaching techniques?
Yeah.
So that's the big story. The big injury is Josh Rachele. So 4 to 6 weeks, the Crows have declared here. So this is the knee up into the ribs. It's obviously multiple cracked ribs. Yep. And no risks to be taken anymore on this front. So this had a bad feel to it in the exact moment that it happened, and that's precisely how it's panned out.
4 to 6 weeks, they're saying. Now there'll be an outcry about the knee into the back, and you can't jump because of knees, so stand by for that. Hope he's okay. 4 to 6 weeks, that's sort of Petrarca territory, isn't it?
Yep.
Not as bad, clearly, but...
Yeah, thankfully no internal injury.
Right,
Which is no consolation to him as he lies on the couch nursing broken ribs. But yeah, probably the first thing that's gone wrong for the Crows so far, and a brilliant start.
They're flying. They are absolutely flying.